Where did Bhagavad Pravaha bring us? Where are we now from Bhagavad Pravaha? So Bhagavad Pravaha, we have heard the overview of Bhagavatam, and then how Srimad Bhagavatam is Lord Krishna himself, and the summary of Bhagavatam. First canto, second canto, third canto, fourth canto, fifth canto, sixth canto. The summary of first canto to sixth canto, seventh canto. We are in eighth canto now. Eighth canto. Eighth canto is about Manvantara. So in eighth canto, Manvantara, as we have heard, in one day of Brahma, there are 14 Manus. And each period of Manu is called Manvantara. So the topic, when it is focused on this Manvantara, that's the eighth canto. So we are hearing about this eighth canto, as we have heard, it can be divided into, according to the different Manvantaras. The first one was Gajendra Moksha that we have heard, right? And today we are going to hear Samudra Manthana. Oh, beautiful, beautiful one, very relevant to us. And after that would be Vamana Deva and Bali Maharaj, and then about Matsyavatara. So this is the eighth canto, yeah, in brief. So we have already heard about Gajendra Moksha, and today we will be hearing about Samudra Manthanam. Samudra Manthanam is very relevant to us and very significant. You know why? This Samudra, ocean, our consciousness is also considered as an ocean. And as the Samudra Manthanam pastime happened, our consciousness is also churned in the process of Bhakti Yoga. So with this pastime, we can see parallelly how our consciousness is also being churned in Bhakti Yoga. See, when we go to the doctor's office, they talk about the X-ray and some, the blood test, the biochemical panel. So for us to know what is happening within our, in our body, in our blood, then they order the blood test, the biochemical panel. So that biochemical panel, that tells us how our medical condition is inside, right? When the lab test results come, the Samudra Manthanam is like a biochemical test for our spiritual body. Yeah. So different stages from the beginning till the end. Yeah. So this Samudra Manthanam, whatever happens with this Samudra Manthanam from the beginning till the end is like that biochemical report of our spiritual body, spiritual journey inside. So very relevant one. And here the Lord actually, he tells how this Samudra Manthanam is going to be, how the churning is going to be. He tells that beautifully, the Lord. He tells what to do, what not to do also. And of course, demigods, they follow it. So that will be very nice to hear it from the Lord. That we will hear today. Samudra Manthanam. So in today's katha, if we divide this, it can be divided into Samudra Manthanam, where the demigods go and pray. So prayers of the demigod, yeah, that's first section. And then after that, Lord Vishnu appears, and then Lord Vishnu, the demigods come in truce with the demons. So that will be the second section. And then after that, Samudra Manthanam happens. So what are the things that come out? How does that Manthanam happen? And what are the things that come out? So these will be the three major subtopics for us today. Okay. So we will go to the PowerPoint. I'll get this one ready. Okay, dear, what is that's Samudra Manthan. Okay. All right, the connection, right? After the Gajendra Moksha, Sukadeva Goswami, he narrates the Gajendra Moksha to Parikshit Maharaj. And then what happens? So, this chart here, yes, here. Yeah. We have heard about in the Gajendra Moksha also, we have gone through all this, right? So, after the Gajendra Moksha, which was in the reign of Tamasamanu, yeah. So that Gajendra Moksha, that story was described. And soon after that, then Sukadeva Goswami says, and then comes the Raivata Manu, and in the rule of Raivata Manu, and then he goes some information about the Raivata Manu. And then after that, he comes to the Chakshusha Manu. This is the sixth Manu. And he describes about Chakshusha Manu. He goes, Lord Hari came down as Ajita, and he churned the milk ocean, and he also came in the form of tortoise. Yeah. So he was describing that, and that's when Parikshit Maharaj asked, oh, okay, now he chose this one. And then he asked, would you please, Guru Varya Sukadeva Goswami, can you give me more details about this pastime? Yeah. And his questions were, why and how did Lord Vishnu churn the milk ocean? And why did he stay in the water as tortoise? And also he stayed on the top of the Mandara mountain. And how did the demigods obtain the nectar? And what are all the things that came out from this churning of milk ocean? I am not satisfied yet hearing the pastimes of the Lord. Can you please continue? It's nice that Parikshit Maharaj keeps asking like that, so we can get to hear also from Sukadeva Goswami. Right? Then, and this is so beautiful. Parikshit Maharaj, he cannot wait to hear Sukadeva Goswami. He cannot wait to relay the pastimes too. Sukadeva Goswami was very happy to hearing the questions of Parikshit Maharaj. The perfect speaker and the perfect listener. Parikshit Maharaj, perfect Shravana Seva. And Sukadeva Goswami, perfect Kirtana Seva. Within 7 days, that's why Parikshit Maharaj, he could just go back to God. He did not get up. Parikshit Maharaj, no getting up, 7 days straight, sitting like that. So, Sukadeva Goswami, he now narrates the story. Once upon a time, in the reign of this Chakshusha Manu, who is the Indra in the reign of Chakshusha Manu? That Indra, let's go back. The name of Indra of Chakshusha Manu, Sureshwara Indra, is Mantra Drumna. Mantra Druma. Okay, so that's Mantra Druma. Indra. So this Indra, he was given a garland. Durvasamuni came to Indra, Mantra Druma, and gave this garland. But Mantra Druma, he just took it from Durvasamuni and then put it on the trunk of Airavata. And Airavata didn't know what the significance of that garland is, that it came from Durvasa Muni. So Airavata dropped it down and then tramped with his feet. Durvasa Muni saw that. He became angry. So Indra, you don't care. You don't care for my blessings, huh? Okay. Then you go. And he curses. You and all of you demigods, you will be poverty stricken very soon. Since you don't care for the blessings, you will be poverty stricken soon. And he curses like that. He curses like that and leaves immediately. And it doesn't take too long for the curse to come into effect. The message is related to the demons. They come, they fight, and demigods, they couldn't win. They have to flee. They have to flee, and they went to Lord Brahma. What happened then? Before going there, something for us. If we have, by this time we have seen, right, Indra is a Sakama Bhakta. Very much prone. He's more in mode of goodness because he's a demigod, but he's prone for the passion, to the passion too, right? Because of his post also. So how can one safeguard oneself in our bhakti journey? Because this passion, it is lurking. It's not just lurking. We are drowning in that, right? So when we are in this process of bhakti and when we are doing this bhakti journey, this is something that is a litmus test or a compass for us. How can we safeguard ourselves to make sure that our consciousness is in a safe zone, not in the danger zone? That is, how do we treat everyone, but especially the saintly people? Because saintly people, they already have all the saintly qualities and they're dedicated to the service of the Lord. So our thoughts about the saintly people and our behavior towards the saintly people is a good scale for us to see if our consciousness is in the safe zone or not. Vaishnava Ninda is destructive. And especially when it comes to the saintly people, those devotees who has dedicated their life fully for the service of the Lord, that's when we can check ourselves if we are in the safe zone or not. Yeah, because they are right at all times. If there is something that needs to be adjusted, it is us. So that is a good test for us, what we think about the saintly people and how we behave towards them is a good scale for our consciousness to keep that in a safe zone. Yeah. And next is, so Indra goes to Brahma as usual. All the demigods, when they have the problem, they go to Brahma, right? So Indra comes to Brahma. And what does Brahmaji say? Okay, we know what's next, right? Brahmaji says, okay, we have to go to Supreme Lord. He is the creator, maintainer, and he is the cause of destruction too, in various forms of Gunavataras. So let's go to the Supreme Lord. So here, Brahma, he takes all these demigods to Svetadvipa. Sveta is white. Dvipa, island. This island is present in the Milk Ocean. So this is the Dvipa at the Milk Ocean. Here, Brahma takes all the demigods to the Lord's abode at Svetadvipa. And one more significant thing is here, until then, it's said that Brahma haven't seen the Lord yet. And we may be thinking, oh, in the very beginning, the Lord, he shook the hand of Brahma, right? It's in the very beginning, the first day in the creation, the very beginning of the creation. And that is there, yes, maybe the darshan was given actually. Yes, that is there in the very beginning, right? Again, but here in the Bhagavatam, it is said that Kalpa Vedas can happen. So when there is a little variation in the pastimes like that, when there is an apparent discrepancy, it is attributed to Kalpa Veda. In each Kalpa, um, each Brahma, there are many Brahmas coming, right? And each Brahma, each Kalpa, there can be variation in the pastimes. We can just attribute it to that. So leaving that aside, here it is said that Brahma had never seen the Lord, but with faith, he offered prayers approved by the Vedic literature. So here, Brahmaji, all he knew was that the Lord is existing. He is a person, he is existing. He didn't meet that person yet. He only heard it from the Vedic literature. But he went to Svetadvipa with such faith and confidence that he wanted to see the Lord and talk to the Lord. So that was the faith of Brahma, that he had only heard but haven't seen the Lord, but he wanted to talk to the Lord. These are the 2 points, dear devotees, here. So when all these demigods came to Brahmaji, he didn't take too much of time to come to the conclusion that they have to take shelter of the Supreme Lord, as opposed to Gajendra, right? Gajendra, when he was caught by the crocodile, it took quite some time for him to realize what was happening to him. Finally, when his pranavayu, the life air, when he was when the life air is about to exhaust, then he kind of realized what he was in, right? It took about 1,000 years for Gajendra to realize, to turn to the Lord. Brahmaji quickly realized that he should turn to the Lord. So Gajendra, that is Sankuchita Chetana. And Brahmaji is definitely more than the Vikasita Chetana. Yeah? For us too, day-to-day life, how quickly are we turning to the Lord? How quickly are we turning to the Lord? It could be a small thing. It could be a big thing. And it need not necessarily be a danger or a need to turn to the Lord. That's one more thing. Yeah. But even before that, when there is a bump or a speed breaker or a jerk in our day to day, how quickly are we thinking of the Lord? How quickly are we turning towards the Lord? Yeah? And what does that mean practically? Seeing that as Krishna's arrangement. Krishna's arrangement, and then what to be done next. But how quickly do we realize that? So that is one thing for us to remember. The sooner we realize that it's Krishna's arrangement, then the better for us in all aspects. For the pure devotees, they don't even have to have a problem or something to turn to the Lord because they're always with the Lord. Yeah, but they're all Sakama Bhaktas, right? Like us, up and down Bhaktas. So that's one thing. And second thing here is Brahma, he only heard that the Lord is present in Svetadvipa. And with that faith, he went to talk to the Lord. Did we hear something about the Harinam too? Ramachintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasavigraha Nitya Mukto Shuddho Abhinatvanam Nanamino. Padma Purana is saying that. So our faith also should be like that. Also, Padma Purana is saying, Namachintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. This Rasa Vigraha Krishna is present in this Namachintamani. So I will be able to reciprocate with Namachintamani. Krishna is here to reciprocate with me. That's the faith. Simple faith. Really? Krishna here, but this, but that, but me, but the, but Nama, this, all those. Just keeping it simple. This is what Padma Purana said. This is what all the sadhus are endorsing. Krishna is here. I want to worship you, Krishna. The Harinama, keeping it simple, simplicity. Yeah, that's something that we can. Namachintamani, Krishna is there. So, Brahma, all the demigods, they came to Svetadvipa. And initially, when they came to Svetadvipa, they did not find the Lord there. Because the Lord is spiritual, subtle. The gross elements, the five elements, right? Bhumir, Apo, Ramalo, Vayu, the earth, water, ether, fire, air, all these are gross elements. Even ether also we will not be able to perceive. Mind is subtle. All these Devata Murtis, Brahma, they are in subtler bodies. But even more subtler than the mind intelligence is the spirit soul and the Supreme Lord. So Supreme Lord is not perceivable, cannot be seen unless the Lord decides to be visible. So when they went to Svetadvipa, they did not find the Lord. Then Brahma starts offering the prayers. So what are those prayers? These are nice prayers. These prayers, there are two categories here. Brahma says, if we divide that. The first one is as we are hearing and as we have to hear again and again about the spiritual form of the Lord, how the Lord is the source of everything, right? The Paramatma, Antaryami, about the spiritual form of the Lord. Second set of prayers is about the Virat Rupa of the Lord. Wonder why? Brahma, Virat Rupa of the Lord? And there is some significance here. So we will hear what Brahma's prayers are and how the initial prayers are beautiful and something for us to take from there. And how Virat Rupa prayers also can be relevant to us. Like for us, bhakti is reciprocation with Bhagavan, right? Directly spiritual to the most subtler aspect, Bhagavan. But what is it in between before getting to the most subtler aspect, reciprocation with Bhagavan? This is also good. For us, this set of prayers in the Virat Rupa, that also can help us to be Krishna conscious. So we will see these two sets of prayers of Brahma. So Brahma is saying, Oh Lord, your qualities are beyond matter. So remember, these are addressing the spiritual form of the Lord. We wonder what? Lord means spiritual, right? But here Brahma, these are Sakama Bhaktas, right? So they will be addressing the Virat Rupa too. But the first part is spiritual aspect. The Lord as Paramatma and also as Bhagavan is beyond matter, beyond the three gunas. And Aham Sarvasya Prabhava Matta Sarvam Pravartate is omniscience. And he is his cognizance is all pervading. He is present everywhere. He is omniscient. And the comparison here is, if this samsara is like a wheel, there are 16 spokes in that wheel. The senses, pranas, and mind. There are 5 pranavayus and senses, mind. And 3 naves. Naves means like this. You know, when you see a church, church has this place where all these chairs are put in and the people sit, right? And before that is the altar for them, where the priest or the chaplain says and the cross is located, right? But nave is a place where all these people are seated, that big, long place, seating place. So Brahma is saying there's a wheel of samsara. There are 16 spokes and 3 naves, 3 corridor-like things. They are gunas. There are 8 rims, which are 8 elements. And the very center part is the axle of the Lord. Axle, which is Supreme Lord. He's just giving a comparison. But the whole point is, for the whole Brahmanda, he's the pivotal point. And I want to surrender to that central point, the axis of this wheel of samsara. This is Brahma saying, not other demigods. Brahma is the secondary creator. Okay? He said that. So he acknowledged that the Lord is everywhere and he is the very source of this material creation. And he is like the axle for the wheel of samsara. So, oh my Lord, I want to surrender to you. You are the axle of this wheel of samsara. He said that. And next what? Surrender. How does he want to surrender? Brahma is saying, I want to become a dhira, free from the influence of 3 modes, and then surrender. So these 3 modes, Brahma is also influenced by the 3 modes. Yeah? So he's saying, dhira is determination. With all determination, I want to be free of these 3 modes and want to surrender. This surrender, we have already heard this, right? Sharanagati. This has become our day in, day out, the topic of all the time. Sharanagati. We are very fortunate. So Brahma is saying, this Sharanagati, I'll do it with determination. Free from the influence of modes. What we are doing now is Sharanagati to the process of bhakti, so we can be free from the influence of the modes. Once we are free of the modes, the Purna Sharanagati begins. So Brahma is talking here about the Purna Sharanagati. He says, with determination, I will overcome the modes and then take Sharanagati of the Lord. So the word determination is used here. Brahma is saying that he wants to be dhira. He wants to be determined to overcome the influence of modes and to take the surrender of the Lord. This is significant, dear devotees. This is Brahma. And who are we? We are just one among of 18,400,000 species, right? Brahma is saying, with determination, I will take surrender. This factor of determination is not just impulsive every now and then. And the process of surrender is also not, okay, somehow or other I'll knock it one time and I'll be good forever. That's not like that. As we are breathing in and out, surrender also is a continuous process. Continuous process. Our consciousness is flowing continuously. So the process of surrender is also happening continuously. So this is not a one-time thing. Yeah. And because it is a continuous thing, we have to understand that this is the process. Otherwise, we will be like, what? I thought by this time, by this date, by the end of this month, by the end of this year, I thought I'll be in this stage of my devotion. Yeah, surrender, Sharanagati, this much it will happen. Why did not it happen? Why did it happen yet? And so if we don't have the clarity of the journey, we may get disappointed. And we may be in the mode of, like this, accelerator, aise laga ke, okay, one time done, all good. We may be in a rajasic mode. But the process of surrender is a continuous one, a constant one, lifetime one, and a beautiful one. It only gets better. And it's not a straight line either. It is going to be like that. And we take that, the mean value of that up and down curve. So all this means that we are coming to our senses, our original senses. That's the process of surrender, which is a constant, continuous. So that's why these words determination, utsaha, nischaya, dhairya are endorsed again and again, dear devotees, not to be disheartened, because it's not a one-day thing, 1 year thing, not to be disheartened. So utsaha, nischaya, and dhairya. Srila Rupa Goswami in Upadeshamrita, he said that, right? So determination, when we feel disheartened, right? Not just the determination, the journey can be more lively when we are enthusiastic. So determination and enthusiasm. Enthusiasm because this process that is given to us is an authentic one, is an eternal one, Sanatana Dharma. So the results will be there. The potency of the process will be there. So I am hopeful about the process. That's why I am enthusiastic. So when enthusiasm is added, we're going to do this anyway. We're going to chant japa 16 rounds anyway. But with enthusiasm is with some life, hope. That makes a change. It's like, the sabji. We're going to eat the sabji anyway. But add some spices in there, then it's yummy. It's tasty, the sabji, right? Like that. Enthusiasm is like that. Spice it. Harvind can be mute. Everybody, please. I guess somebody's was unmuted. Accident. So like that. Utsaha, Nischaya, and patience. Patience. We will, by this time, we have understood. This is a lifetime process. Beautiful one again. In Rajasic mode, we will think, oh my God, I thought if I do bhakti for 1 month or 1 year, I will get to half the stage, almost nishtha. And maybe in extra 2-3 years, maybe I'll get a little bit of ruchi. After that, I will be almost a pure devotee and I will have no problem, no challenges. We may be thinking like that. This is life. This is life. So Krishna's arrangement can be however he wants it for our own good. So then patience. Yeah, patience. Patience is being enthusiastic even when there are no results yet. Yeah, that's patience. So these 3 things, like Rupa Goswami said. Somebody was asking, right? How do we know that focusing in bhakti? So these are all the things. How enthusiastic we are. Patience. So Brahma, with determination, he said, I will take surrender of shelter of the Lord with determination. And he also says this. Again, these are the words of Brahma, the secondary creator. Is Sharanagati surrender? Surrender is really too oppressive of a word, Sharanagati. Yeah. Is Sharana Agati? Sharana is shelter. Agati is going towards the Lord for shelter. Such a beautiful one, right? Who would not want to go to a soothing shelter? That's the lotus feet of Lord Hari. So, is there any other way? Do we really have to proceed towards the lotus feet of Lord Hari only? Take shelter there only? Is there, is this only one way thing? My way or no way thing? Are there no choices here? Brahma's answer here. No one can overcome the Lord's Maya without surrendering. Daivihesha gunamayi mama maya durateya. That's what Lord Krishna also said. And Brahma is saying, okay, there is only one way here. To give you the clarity, there is only one way here. Because all these energies are the energies of the Lord. There is no question of you controlling the energy or not be captivated by the energy, because they are as powerful as Lord. So no one can overcome them and no one can know the Lord because of this illusory energy or because of these modes. So this is why it's kind of Brahmaji is saying that kind of saying that there is no other way but only this way. What is there? What is there other than the Lord? Just that we are covered by illusory energy. That's why we think there is something else. So yeah, in Brahmaji's answer is there any other way other than Sharana Agati to the Lord? He says, no, so sorry. That's not the case. Daivihesha Gunamayi, so Prapatyante has to happen. Brahmaji said that. And he's saying, we have to take the shelter of the Lord. We are the topmost in this universe with very little, very minimum of passion and ignorance within us. That personification of goodness, Brahma is the topmost in the Brahmaloka, right? Maximum amount of goodness is present in Brahma. And he's saying, if I am saying this, if the demigods who have lot of goodness, if they are saying that, what to speak of the other jivas who are in passion and ignorance? It's quite clear for us which category we belong to, who Brahmaji is addressing to. Yeah. So that is why the way to go is towards the Lord. This is more toward for the atheists, atheist scientists who does not want to believe that there is a creator. So for atheists, it's more of a slap for the atheists. Yeah, if they take God out of picture and then try to overcome the modes, that is not going to happen because the modes are the energy of the Lord. So that's what Lord Brahma says, that he wants to surrender with determination. There is no other way but to take shelter of the Lord. And this is by the secondary creator. These are the words of the secondary creator and what to speak of us. Okay. After that, he's coming to the Vishar Rupa. Now his meditation is on the glorifying the Vishar Rupa, Virat Rupa, the universal form, Virat Rupa. Vishwarupam has the time element also. Virat Rupam is the universal form with the material elements. So this Virat Rupam, until now, Lord Brahmaji has glorified the Lord, the all-pervading Paramatma, who is the source of everything here. And now he says, oh my Lord, because he already said this right so far, there is no way that we can understand. If we can't understand you, how can the other living entities with passion and ignorance can understand you? And this is the link. So what to do for those people who are in passion and ignorance? Then for them, Virat Rupa. Virat Rupa. If we recall in the second canto of Bhakti, Srimad Bhagavatam, for those who are not ready to take a Bhakti Yoga, they meditate on, who are not ready to take a Bhakti Yoga, which means meditating on the spiritual form of the Lord. Okay, we are in sadhaka stage. in the further stages is meditation on the spiritual form of the Lord. So one who are not ready for this, then they do the meditation on the Virat Rupa. It's present in the second canto also, it is described. Yeah. So what is that meditation on the Virat Rupa? Simple. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna said in the 10th chapter, right? In the 10th chapter and in the 7th chapter also, how he is the taste in the water, the strength in the strong, like that. So the Lord, who is Paramatma here in the spiritual form, is also existing, pervading into the material elements. So the prayers of Brahma to the Virat Rupa, when we hear this, we will realize that those prayers are to make us Krishna conscious, to make us think of Krishna, to remember Krishna. When we see the things in this world and when we perceive something within us, because we are unable to perceive the subtle aspect, very subtle aspect of the Lord in the heart yet. So how can one think of Krishna, be Krishna consciousness? Then at all times, even in the initial stages, it is by seeing those things and feeling what they can. They cannot see the spiritual form yet. They don't have the spiritual feelings yet. We also don't have, right? Not yet. But how can we still be Krishna conscious? For this, Brahma is saying, oh Lord, all this material creation rests on your lotus feet. That's good. And he also says, like the sun is like your eye. The prayers begin like that. In other words, whatever we see in this creation should make us think of Krishna. When we see the sun, in Bhagavad Gita also Lord Krishna said, right? The sun is like the eye of the Lord. And when we see the fire anywhere, then the fire is like the mouth of the Virat Rupa of the Lord. Why like that? Because fire devours everything, takes everything into it. And like that, Virat Rupa mouth also devours, takes everything into it. So when we see fire anywhere, oh, this is like the mouth of the Virat Rupa of the Lord. And when we see, it is said, when we see beauty anywhere in the material world, it is said that it's like the nose of the Virat Rupa of the Lord. Yeah. And when we see, it is said that the crown of the Virat Rupa or the upper planetary systems are there, like that. And when we see somebody very strong, the strength in the Lord, strength of the strong people is Krishna himself, like in Bhagavad Gita, like that, right? And one more thing. So all this so far that we have heard is about, sun is like the eye of the Lord, Virat Rupa. Moon is like the mind of the Lord. Okay. And then comes the life air. When we are breathing, the pranavayu. Where is the origin of this pranavayu? This pranavayu, the very origin is the prana of the Lord. So we take breath in and out all the time, right? So Krishna is so close to us. He is in the breath, in our pranavayu, and he is like the fire in the digestion. He is within us, and of course, he is as Paramatma within us. That is all happening within us. So he's in us, right? And when we look at the sky and the sun and the moon, oh, this is Krishna's eye. This is Krishna's mind, like that. So the Virat Rupa description is more in that sense to make us Krishna conscious through whatever we can see and perceive outside and feel within, the pranavayu, like that. So that's Virat Rupa. It is to make somebody a preliminary Krishna consciousness. And this, when it gets more deeper, then one will be able to appreciate the presence of the Lord in the Nama and ultimately in the heart. That's the most subtler form. Yeah. So like that, Brahmaji, he prays, he glorifies the Virat Rupa. Like religion is the bosom, the chest of the Virat Rupa. Irreligion is like the back. Like that, glorification happens. But that's the whole point. How is that pertinent to us? Is whatever we see in this world, perceive within, should make us think of Krishna. So Virat Rupa glorification is to serve that kind of purpose. Okay, Brahma, he offered his prayers, and then he comes to his last set of prayers. By this time we know, right? After we heard Gajendra, after describing, Brahma also said, yeah, you are unreachable, unknowable. And then he said something about the Virat Rupa. He also said, you cannot be understood by us. And what to speak of others who have ignorance and passion. So Bhagavat Tattva, Jiva Tattva, ho gaya. And the last one is, now, please, on your own accord, we cannot do anything on our own. We cannot see you. You are not understandable. You are not reachable. You are not seeable. You please give darshan on your own accord. You are all pervading. Yeah. So Brahmaji invokes the mercy of the Lord like that. Would you please kindly show your original form with that smiling lotus face? Would you please make that visible to our eyes? And now the Lord, okay. So he asks what he wants, and then after Brahma says that, what happens? He does a few more prayers, but finally he's saying, yeah, would you please give us the darshan on your own accord? And now he glorifies bhakti also. People may be doing so much of endeavor, but if there is no bhakti, it is waste. But even if it's a little bit of endeavor, if there is bhakti, then that is complete. So, oh Lord, in this way, you can be visible only on your accord, and with whatever little bit of bhakti that we have, we are praying to you. So very please be kind upon us and give us the darshan. And then what happens? Brahma said what he wants, right? After praying all that, like the Lord came and rescued Gajendra after he submitted his prayer. All of a sudden, soon after Brahma said that his set of prayers, then the effulgence, Bhagavatam describes such an effulgence was there after Brahma's prayer. So effulgent was the place, like thousands of effulgent suns glowing at once. So it was so bright and effulgent that the demigods could not even see the Lord, could not even see themselves, forget about seeing the Lord. So that brilliant was the Lord, is the Lord. And everybody offered their obeisances. Soon after that, and the beauty of the Lord is described. Slowly, he was so effulgent, and he was not visible to anybody in the beginning. But again, when the Lord chooses to be visible, then he will make himself visible to others. So slowly, he gave darshan of his transcendental form to these demigods here. How is his darshan? We want to hear about the Rupa of the Lord again and again, so much. So the Lord is like Marakatamani. Marakatamani is the bluish sapphire. Yeah? And his eyes are reddish like a lotus. And his garments are pintambara, molten gold, yellow. Face is also lotus-like. Queen Kunti's prayers are coming to my mind. Nama Pankajanetraya, Nama Pankajamaline, Nama Pankajanabhaya, Namaste Pankajangre. Everything lotus. And the decorations. The transcendental legs have ankle belts. And the Lord has a waist belt. The arms also has bangles, armlets. Chest is decorated with necklace. And we know what special jewel is there, the Kaustuba jewel. And also the goddess of fortune, right? That Kaustuba jewel and the mark on the Lord. That is there, the Lord Lakshmi's mark on the Kaustuba jewel and black earring. And then the earrings. Yes, please.
Srivatsama.
Srivatsa, thank you. Yeah, Srivatsama on the chest of the Lord. Srivatsa, Lakshmi Devi, Shri Vatsa on the chest of the Lord. Srivatsa and Kaustubajan. And the earrings and the helmet, all decorated, studded with diamonds, jewels, right? And then disc and the club. Oh, that's the darshan of the Lord. And then Brahma, all of them, they're trying to recover from the shock. Brahma says, "Oh Lord, you are so unborn. You don't take birth. You appear and disappear. You are so constantly appearing, disappearing, ceaselessly, constantly. Yeah. And it is our great fortune that we are able to have your darshan. And you are the cause and support and the destination. Yeah. And you are perceived by only those who are free of material contamination, who are practicing bhakti. But you gave darshan to us. And this is your causeless mercy. So we are very, very, very thankful. And then he goes, he's now in ecstasy. He has prayed and prayed and prayed. And all of a sudden, Lord gave darshan. So he's saying, you have, when one does bhakti, you show favor like this. You come out as fire from the wood. Yeah. And when one does bhakti, they'll be able to get the Lord, like milk from the cow, grains from the land, and a jet of water from the earth. So Lord Brahma is expressing all this. His happiness, his ecstasy, that he has prayed, and all of a sudden the Lord has appeared there. So he's glorifying the Lord like this. There's one thing that is here, dear devotees. Srila Vishwanath Thakur says, fire from the wood. We don't see the fire in the wood, right? But there is a fire element in the wood. And that's why when it is, when we light up matchbox and start the fire, the whole wood gets burnt up. So there is a fire element, so much abundant in the wood. So that's fire from the wood. So you come out as fire from the wood. Here, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, there's something very beautiful that Chakravarti Pada explains here, dear devotees, for us. So we hear that Nama has Rupa, Guna, Leela, right? So how to perceive that Rupa? Because we don't have any idea of the transcendental form of the Lord. Yeah. But it is said that the Rupa, Guna, Leela are present in the Lord. So how can we make it there? Rupa is there present in the form, in the Nama of the Lord, but we are not able to perceive because we are still in the modes. So how can that happen? So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, the intelligence ignites the mind. The pure intelligence ignites the mind, which will be able to perceive the form of the Lord. So what is the pure intelligence here? Intelligence replaced or fully guided by Shastra and Sadhu. So the words of the Sadhu, Shastra has all the information. The words of the Sadhu explaining everything about the Lord. And the glories of the Nama, the Rupa of the Lord, and how the Rupa of the Lord can be perceived in the Nama, all that is heard from the Sadhu. So all the intelligence is lit up by the Vakya of the Sadhu. And this intelligence that is enlightened by the Sadhu and Shastra Vakya, this intelligence ignites the mind. And the mind will be able to show the Rupa of the Lord. And this is how the Rupa, Guna, Leela are perceived in the Nama. So we already have those faculties. We have the intelligence, we have the mind, just that they're all directed to the things of this world. But Sadhu Vakya fills this intelligence faculty with the transcendental subject matter and the details of the spiritual realm. So that intelligence will utilize the mind to have darshan of the Lord. See, there's one more beautiful example, dear devotees. The mind, if you remember, is actually from sattva. After the ahankara, in the very beginning, pradhana with prakriti, then mahattattva, then ahankara. From the ahankara comes sattva, raja, tamoguna. In the sattva category is the mind and the demigods. So our mind, natural status of our mind is sattva. Sattva is steady, non-turbulent, steady. So when our mind is non-turbulent and steady like that, like the clear waters in a pond, then the intelligence that is purified and ignited by Shastra and Sadhu reflects the spiritual world onto this clear waters of pond of mind. And this is how the Rupa, Guna, Leela are perceived. That's about the prayers of Brahma. And okay. Okay, so Brahma says that he prays. Wait, did we stop? Why did we take that time there? Yeah, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, the Nama Rupa Guna Leela. Yeah. So Brahma offers those prayers, all are done. They were very happy, all of them. And then when the Lord says, what do you want? Then all these demigods say, Brahma, say, you know what is happening. So you please grant the boon that is suitable for us and for the welfare of all beings. It means basically, please resume our positions. Give us back that Swargaloka. Yeah, so that's the demigod's request. And then the Lord says, okay, this is what you need to do. So we have finished the first section, right? The demigod's prayers and the Lord appeared. And now, after this, now the Lord is instructing what to do. Then now we will hear how the demigods and demons, they make it truce. They come to an agreement. So the Lord's instructions here, dear devotees, he says, first of all, he says, and the Lord's Brahma says, this is the description in Bhagavatam. So there is no need for all this pastime, the Samudra Mandanam, the nectar coming out. And why should the nectar come out? So the demigods can drink and kill the demons. The Lord can kill the demons like that. He doesn't have to do all this, but he wants to enjoy the pastime, the turtle pastime of in this Samudra Mandanam. So he decided that he will be part of that. So Lord says, okay, listen to me attentively. This will bring good fortune to you. I'm going to tell you what to do now. Right now, demigods, this is the time where ignorance is prevailing. Remember, dear devotees, in the very beginning. When's that? In Prahlad Charita. In the very first topic of the Lord is not partial but reciprocal. We have heard about this. The Lord acts in this material world through the modes and the time factor. The ignorance, passion, goodness, they come. They are predominant at certain points of the time. So this is the time where ignorance is predominant. That's why the demons are perishing. Bali Maharaj is there because he has worshipped Sukracharya. And here the Indra, he did not honor the garland of Durvasa Muni. Okay, that's when it has turned, the goodness has turned, the ignorance wave was kicking. Yeah, the peak was starting. That's when Bali Maharaj and all the demons, they attacked the heaven, Swargaloka. So this is the time where ignorance is at peak. That's why you cannot defeat them. So what you need to do is, you have to come to an agreement with them. And see that you gain the strength. That can happen by getting the nectar from this ocean of milk. So come to an agreement with these demons so you can get the nectar from this ocean. Drink that nectar so you'll get your strength back and then you can kill the demons. For that, what you need to do is bring all the vegetables, grass, creepers, everything, put it in the ocean, bring the Mandara mountain, use it as a churning rod, and Vasuki will be the rope, and both of you, demons on one side, and you demigods on one side, you should start churning. And when the nectar comes out, then you will drink the nectar, and then you can kill those demons. This is the plan Lord Vishnu is giving to the demigods. And here he mentions also Lord Vishnu. This is what the snake and that's that that picture is little not easy to take, but just for your snake and mouse. That's snake and mouse logic. Lord says that. We'll be thinking, what? Snake and mouse logic? And what that means is, there's a story where the snake and the mouse, they were trapped in a basket. And then the snake thinks, I can eat this mouse, but I cannot get out of this basket. So I'll use this mouse to bite the basket, make a hole, and then I can eat the snake, I can eat the mouse, and then I can go out of the basket too. So snake thinks like that. So snake says to the mouse, okay, I'll not kill you, but you please make a hole to get out of this basket. Then I will not kill you. That's what snake says. But what snake does is, after the mouse makes a hole, snake eats the mouse and then goes out of the basket. It's like, wow, that's not so good. That's not so moral, right? And Lord Vishnu saying this. This is what we think, right? Immediately. So natural of us to think like that, right? So much natural for the non-devotees thinking. Vastrapaharana Leela? The Lord coming to steal the clothes of the gopis? What kind of immoral Lord are you worshipping? This is what the Britishers said when they came to India, when they invaded India. These are natural thoughts and responses from a mind that is working on a plane of apara vichar. The Lord operates on the para vichar. Para is transcendental. So these matters, sometimes it appears like, when Bharata, in the stage of Bhava, he fell down. Jadabharata, Chitraketu, he had to go to Vritrasura, Pandavas, they're with Krishna, but they had difficulties. What is that devotees are getting difficulties, though they are with the Lord? And here, the Lord, it doesn't seem to be a moral one, but he is indicating, he's giving this kind of plan to the demigods. These are our thoughts, our paravichar, not transcendental thoughts, because our frequency is like that. We are in this body, we are controlled by these three gunas, so we are on aparavichar. What is happening on a para level? Why is this happening like that? Here, okay, before that, this is the thought of us who are in apara zone here. What would a bhakta in a para zone think about it? Did Pandavas ever think, what is this? Mukunda is always with us. Why are we getting these problems? Is he not helping us? Why is he not helping us? That wasn't the case. Queen Kunti was saying, Vipadashantadasa Shashwat Tatra Tatro Jagadguru. Bhavatu Darshanam Ashyat Apuna Bhavadarshanam. They are on the para level, not like apara level for us, having these questions and doubts. They are like, this is awesome. When you are with us, nothing matters, nothing hurts. Let this vipattu, they come again and again. All that matters is you be with us. You be with us. And what did Vritrasura thinking? He did not think, I was in the Chitraketu body and the Lord would have rescued me then. Chitraketu did not think like that when he heard the curse of Mother Parvati. He bowed down and says, this is for a reason. I accept this. And then when he comes to Vritrasura, he had no complaint. Why did I end up with this Vritrasura body? I should have gone in the Chitraketu body only. My devotion was no good. No. When they are in the para zone, they are like, when can I meet you, my Lord? Just keep me in this zone with you only. So that is para vichar. So these devotees that are in the para zone don't think like our reflexive thinking who are in the apara vichar, because our priority is different. Our priority is how is this body can be saved, how these moral values can be saved. Everything related to body and mind and set, everything goes in this material realm, only apara. But this liberated para, these pure devotees, their thought is on a different plane. All I need is only you, my Lord. Chitraketu was so happy that he was fully blossomed in the body of Vritrasura. Can't wait to go back to Godhead. So for him, the external body did not matter if it was a king or a demon. What mattered was his mood, his eagerness to meet the Lord. The spiritual body matters more to them, not the physical one. Those are the people on Paravichar. We are in the Aparavichar. And when we get more purified, when we are taken to Paravichar, then this will make more sense to us, appealing to us than this one. That's just to give a little context here. Because whatever Lord Mukunda does, it is beautiful. We may not be able to get it because we're in the Aparavichar. But when explained by the devotees in Para Tattva, then it's just beautiful. The stealing is beautiful, the killing is beautiful, the saving is beautiful, Maduram Maduram. Okay. So, and he gives the instruction, the Lord gives the instruction. See, when you are doing this churning, you go talk to the demons, all right? When they come in, when you start churning the milk ocean, you have to be patient. And you have to be peaceful with no anger. Whatever demons ask, you just say, okay, do not demand. Okay? Patience, peaceful. Yeah? And the next one is, do not be feared. No fear when the Kalakota poison comes out. He's telling ahead of time. Isn't that very good, dear devotees? Poison will come out, but no fear. And don't be greedy for the things that will come out of the milk ocean later. He said that too, because many things will come out. And do not be angry to possess the things. Say if you are greedy and if the demons are coming and taking it away from you, do not be angry. He says this and the Lord disappears. So demigods have to remember this. And now the churning is going to start. So they have to remember this. So these demigods, all of them, they went, Brahma and Lord Shiva, they returned to their abode. And this Indra went to Bali Maharaj. They occupied Swarga, right? So they went to Bali Maharaj. As these demigods are walking towards the demons, Bali Maharaj, all the demons were ready to attack demigods, thinking that they were coming to fight or kill them. But Bali Maharaj said, no. Look at the way they are walking. They don't have any astras in their hands. So they're not coming for the fight. So you drop the astras too. You are not fighting. That is the Yuddha Niti. That is the etiquette, war zone etiquette. If there are no astras, you don't fight. It is said that in Mahabharata war, until sunset, there is fierce battle that goes on. But after sunset, it is said that everybody, the Pandavas and Kauravas, they go from one camp to other, and when they go there, they have to be invited, and whatever they ask, that should be given as charity. So all those etiquette was very nicely followed there. So on the same note, Bali Maharaj did not attack them. So the demigods came. They talked to Bali Maharaj, and then they said, yeah, this is the deal. Let's get the nectar out of this milk ocean. So Indra, demigods, they say, exactly as proposed by the Lord. So both of them, they form two teams, the demigod team and the demons team, and they go to the Manthara mountain again. Manthara mountain is made of gold, more heavier than the rock. So they could uproot the Manthara mountain, but they could not bring it to the milk ocean. So with that weight, when the Mandara mountain fell, lot of demigods, many demigods and many demons, they were crushed and they were dead. So Lord Vishnu, he's Antaryami, he's knowing what is happening. So he immediately came on Garuda, and just with his glance, he rescued all the demigods and demons. And then he uprooted the Manthara mountain himself, the Lord, and put it on the back of Garuda. See how elegantly the Lord, with the Manthara mountain on the Garuda, came to the Kshirosagar, the milk ocean. And then, after he came there, he asked Garuda to leave. Dear devotees, he did not say anything to Garuda, but just to leave, vacate the place. Garuda did not ask a word. Garuda bowed down to the Lord and left the place. Garuda did not protest. How come, Lord? You took service from me until now, and without giving a reason, you asked me to leave, but I want to stay here back. Nothing like that from Garuda. When the Lord is saying something, doing something, there is a reason. And these pure devotees, they are just They like to be puppets in the hands of the Lord, no questions asked. And the reason why the Lord said, Garuda, you may please leave now, because he's going to call Vasuki. Vasuki is going to come into the picture now. Mandara mountain came, milk ocean is ready, and the churning has to happen. Vasuki will not come if Garuda is there, because Garuda is fond of snakes. He can eat, right? So that's why the Lord says, okay, Garuda, please leave. Garuda left, and now Vasuki came in, the demigods and the demons. They started churning the milk ocean. Here, Lord Ajita, he's the avatara of the Chakshushamanu, right? So he was leading the demigods. He was the lead to the demigods there. So Ajita, he went to the Vasuki's hood side to hold the Vasuki there. So all the demigods followed Ajita to hold Vasuki on the head side. But demons looked at this and they thought, what? We hold the tail side? It's so inauspicious. So the demons did not move towards the tail side. They just stood like that as a protest. And Lord Ajita, he knew their intention. So he did not say a word. He smiled, not saying a word. He just walked towards the tail side of Vasuki. Demigods simply followed. Very good. They passed the test, right? Exactly as Lord Vishnu's instruction. Demigods were not angry. They followed Ajita, went to the tail side. And now the churning is happening. When the churning is happening like this, yeah, the Mandara mountain, it is sinking because it is made of gold. It's just sinking into the ocean. So something has to give support to make it steady there. So the Lord then takes the Kurma Rupa, Jagadisha Hare, Kurma Sharira, Keshava Rupa, Kurma Sharira, Jaya Jagadisha Hare. As a Kurma Avatara, he supports Mandara mountain from the bottom. And now the churning is happening. Demigods one side, demons one side. And here in the top, it is just going way. The peak of the mountain is just getting wavy. There is nothing that is grounding the mountain there in the center. So the Lord appeared as Sahasrabahu. There you see? Yeah, here. He sits on the top of the mountain. Down here as Kurmavatara, and at the top as Sahasrabahu, and as the chief of these said the Lord, when the churning is happening like this, now it said that when the Mandara mountain is like an itching sensation on his back is being soothed by the movement of Mandara mountain. It is said like that. And the Lord also entered as ignorance into Vasuki. Otherwise, Vasuki would fall unconscious with the pain that it goes through as it gets rubbed around the Mandara mountain. And he got into the demigods as goodness and into the demons as passion. So he entered into these capacities as his energies. Okay. So now the manthanam is happening, and Vasuki, all the poison that is there in Vasuki is coming out because Vasuki is really being squished onto the Manthara mountain, right? So all the poison was coming out. These Rakshasas, demons that were there in Vasuki's, they are getting burnt with this poison. It was very hot. This is why, as per Lord instructions, they actually, demigods moved to the tail. And even then, to the tail end also, it was really hot. And then even the demigods also, they were getting very exhausted. Then the showers of rain. Lord sent showers of rain. So all these demigods had some cooling, soothing effect. So in this way, the churning was happening. And when the poison came out, they did not know what to do. They went to Lord Shiva in Kailash. And we wonder, right? What? The Lord who brought Manthara mountain on Garuda from there to Ksheerasagara, and the very Lord who has become the Kurma Avatara and then steadied the Mandara mountain, and the very Lord who has become Sahasrabahu and was there on the top of the mountain, and the Lord who has become Ajita and then leaded the demigods, and the Lord who as ignorance entered into Vasuki, and who as passion entered into the demons, and who has goodness sustained the demigods. When the Lord did all these things, can he not get rid of this poison also? Drink the poison too? Is that difficult? Right? But we know the reason, right? The Lord, one of the guna of the Lord is that he wants to glorify his devotees. So show how glorious are his devotees. And Lord Shiva is Vaishnavanam Yadasham. He's the topmost devotee, right? And so that's the explanation given. All these demigods, they went to Kailash, Mount Kailash. And here, the prayers of the demigods, they are very similar to the prayers that are offered to the super soul, Lord Vishnu. Very similar. That you are Antaryami, and very similar. Yeah, these are the prayers. How to understand this? Two things. If you see, look at this. Your navel is the sky, your sun, your eyes. The sun is like your eye. Your fire, your mouth is like the fire, and you are the Paramatma. These are the prayers of the demigods to Lord Shiva. Shiva, these are the Paramatma. We know that, right? In Bhagavad Gita also, the Lord says how he is the present as Paramatma and Antaryami. So how does it go? All these prayers that are supposed to be for Lord Vishnu, how come they have prayers for Lord Shiva here? Srila Prabhupada says in his purport that anything that Lord has to do in terms of material creation, Lord Vishnu acts through Shiva. So that's why all this glorification, when it is offered to Lord Shiva, it is to be understood that they are for Lord Vishnu. Because Lord Vishnu acts through Shiva in the material matters. That's the explanation Prabhupada gave. What is the tattva behind this? Prabhupada made it simple and gave us the information. Right? But what is the tattva behind this? Dear devotees, in Sarga, right? When Lord Shambhu interacts with Prakriti's Pradhan, right? Shambhu interacts with Pradhan. Shambhu is coming from the Brukati of Mahavishnu, from the eyebrows of Karodakasai Vishnu. So there is no difference. As Vishnu, he cannot touch the matter because he's transcendental. But when the Lord wants to touch the matter, do the material operations, then he comes as Shambhu. In that manner, there's no difference between Shambhu and Lord Vishnu. Only difference is Kshiram yada tadi vikara vishesha yoga sanjayate nahi tata pratagasti hetu. From the milk, the yogurt can come, but from the yogurt, milk cannot come. Nevertheless, Is milk and yogurt the same? Yeah, both of them are milk ingredients, right? They belong to milk. In that way, there's no difference between uh, Lord Shiva and Vishnu when it comes to these aspects. So this is how the prayers are to be understood. That the glorification of all this is for Lord Vishnu through Shambhu. So then all the demigods pray. Then Lord Shiva looks at. First thing Lord Shiva thinks after hearing the prayers of demigods is, first thing he thinks is, oh, this halahalam came out. Oh, this is my responsibility to go save all these jivas. Yeah. Demigods say full set of prayers. After that, they just say, okay, Lord Shiva, you are not understood by any, but your presence causes auspiciousness, and you can drink this hala because you could kill the Tripurari, and you do the annihilation too, so you can drink this hala. They say that based on their realization, and at the very end they say, we don't know much about you, Lord Shiva, but wherever you are there, Shiva means auspiciousness. Auspiciousness is there, so please help us. After those prayers, Lord Shiva looks at Mother Parvati, says, see all these jivas, they are in danger, and it's my duty to give protection to all. There are two shlokas here, dear devotees, beautiful ones. Yeah? Lord Shiva says, Pranaiswai pranina panti sadava kshanabhangurai Bhattavaireshu bhuteshu mohiteshu atmamayaya. Lord Shiva says, O Sati, this bhuteshu, these living entities, mohiteshu atmamayaya, because they're deluded by illusory energy, they're bhaddavaireshu, unnecessarily they're trapped in animosity. Shanabhangare, these are all very temporary, but they're trapped in this animosity. Prana is why one's own prana, pranina panti, for the sake of the prana of the jivas, sadhava, the sadhus. So the sadhus, at the cost of their own life, they save the prana of these jivas who, under the influence of external energy, are in animosity. And Lord Shiva says this. When one performs benevolent acts like this, then the Lord, who is present in the heart, is very much satisfied. So I want to go perform that welfare activity so the Lord can be satisfied. And then Mother Bhavani, she understands the intention of her husband, the noble reason, she gives permission. And then Lord Shiva, Tapyante lokatapena sadhava prayaso janaha paramaradhanam tadhi purushasya akhilatmanah tapyante lokatapena sadhava prayasho janaha. In order to take away the misery of all the loka, of the people, the great, the sadhavas, they take the misery from these ordinary people. And paramar, paramaradhanam tadhi. And this endurance of the difficulties for the sake of the welfare of the people is parama aradhanam, is the topmost worship of Purushaya Akhilatmana, of the Lord that is sitting in everybody's heart. That's Lord Shiva. A combination of Jiva Daya and Vaishnava Seva there, right? How the Lord in the heart is pleased by that. So sadhavas, their automatic thought and predisposition is that. Their immediate thought is, how can I take away their pain? They have no thought of, okay, will I be able to take that pain, sustain it? No. That's why they're sadhavas. And this is the topmost worship of the Lord in the heart. And this is why we hear again and again, Seva, Vaishnava Seva is the topmost. Harinama Vaishnava Seva, right? These two. Why topmost like this? That's it. So Lord Krishna, Lord Shiva, he takes the poison, and when he takes the poison, fruit drops of that. All the poison that's present in the milk ocean just comes into the cup hand of Lord Shiva, and then he drinks it, and few drops of the poison that falls. All these snakes, scorpions, they drink some. That's why they have poisons. Yeah, that's about Lord Shiva drinking the poison. And the rest of it is whatever came out, just for the informative sake. But this is where the demigods, all those instructions that Lord Vishnu gave, they remember. The first thing is they did not get agitated. Now, what are going to come out? First thing that came out after the halahalam was Surabhi cow. This is taken by the sages. Next, Uchchaishwarava. This is a beautiful horse. It's that 500 horse. Bali Maharaj, the king of the demons, he wanted it. Indra did not protest. He remembered what Lord Vishnu said. Yeah. And then after that, in Airavata came. And Indra, demons led the, Indra had Airavata, so he took it. Few other elephants also came. Then came the Kaustubamani, and this is one more gem, Padmaraga. It is a yellow and orange color stone like that. And those are taken by Lord Vishnu, Kaustuba and Padmaraga. And then came Mother Lakshmi from the milk ocean. So there's a description there where when she comes out, she was more like the daughter of this milk ocean. So she can do the Swayamvara and then choose a bridegroom from the demigods from there. So she goes to each one of them, and then there's a list of how certain things are there, but how they are all lacking in certain things, at least in one thing. At last, she comes to Lord Vishnu, and then so Mother Lakshmi chooses Lord Vishnu as her husband, and their wedding happens there, and she gets many gifts from different demigods, different people. Those are all given. After Mother Lakshmi, Varuni comes out. Varuni is wine, huh? And of course, the demigods and the demons, they really wanted her. So Varuni was taken by demons. Finally, a beautiful, effulgent personality with a pot of nectar in their hands came out. Immediately, what happened? The demons snatched the pot of nectar. And they started quarreling among themselves, the bigger demons and smaller demons. And demigods didn't know what to do. So, difference between demons and demigods is demons don't take shelter of the Lord. Demigods take shelter of the Lord. So demigods went to Lord Vishnu. What to do, Lord? The pot of nectar came out just as you said, but it's in demons' hands. Don't worry, dear demigods. I'm going to come as a beautiful Mohini Murti, and I will make sure that all that nectar in the pot comes to you. So then comes Mohini Murti Avatar. That we will hear in the next session. So these are all the things that came from the churning of milk ocean. We have heard, right, that our spiritual journey is also very similar to this. First of all, the instructions of the Lord. You remember that? Yeah. Patience, peaceful, don't be. First, patience and peaceful. When they went for the agreement, demigods and demons, right? And then after that, Ajita, when he had to go to the tail end, no protest, peaceful. Then when the Halahalam came out, they were told not to be fearful. Same thing with us. Before the Amrita of Krishna Prema that comes out from our consciousness, the poison will come out. Will come out. That poison is all the dirt. It is there within. It will come out. Good that it just comes out. We let that go. We don't hold on to the dirt. So we don't stop that from going out. We just let that go. So that as the poison came out in Samudra Manthanam, then the poison comes out, the dirt comes out in our spiritual journey also. But that stage didn't last longer, right? After that came Surabhi and everything else, one after the other, all alluring things. So in Bhakti journey also, when we are able to sustain that another nivritti, as we get gradually towards Nishta, one thing after the other will come, because Bhakti Devi is very attractive. So many jivas are attracted to the Bhakti, right? So Nadanam, Najanam, Nasundarim Kavitam. So Dhanam will come, Janam will come, Sundari Kavitam will come. As much as the Halahalam came, the poison came, the Anardas coming out, next stage is many alluring things will come. The fame will come, recognition will come, wealth will come, glorification will come. But as Lord Vishnu said, do not be greedy, do not get trapped there, do not be diverted. That is to be remembered. These Dhanam, Janam, Kavita, Sundarim, these are the blocks. And so as Lord said, do not be greedy and do not be angry if what you are wanting does not come to you, right? So not having that sense of proprietorship, that also we have heard. And then Lakshmi Devi came, Varuni came, and then finally the nectar pot, right? So the nectar pot is still in the hands of the Lord. They're still waiting. So the Ardha Pravritti, we just continue our journey as in the guidance and direction that is given to us by Gauranga through our Gurujana. And whenever the mercy has to come, how much ever mercy has to come, in whatever form has to come, that is in the hands of the Lord. Even if he has to take avatar of Mohini Murti, however it is, that is left to him. And he will give us the nectar. Yeah, that's all the devotees. That is up until the appearance of Mohini Murti, about the churning of the milk ocean, Samudra. So, summarizing it, we can summarize it. The 8th canto, Manvantara. Today we have heard about Samudra Manthanam. And in Samudra Manthanam, the prayers. First is Indra's take-home points. So Indra, disrespecting Durvasa Muni, the garland, there we paused and we thought, okay, to check our consciousness to see if it's in a safe zone or not, we have to see what it is saying and how we are behaving towards a sadhu, saintly person. In general, with all, but especially them, because they're so totally dedicated and they're already saints. Okay. And second thing is, when all of them went to Brahmaji Brahmaji immediately thought about going to the Lord. Sharanagati did not take too long. So how quickly are we turning towards the Lord, seeing that as his arrangement? And Brahma, that faith he had is he haven't seen the Lord before, but because it is said in Shastra, he was very sure that he can find the Lord in Svetadvipa, and he wanted to meet the Lord. And he was sure that he was going to meet the Lord. That was his faith, simple faith. Yeah, and the same faith for us. Also in the Vani of the sadhus, that makes a huge difference if we have that faith that we have heard. And then about the prayers of Brahma, right? Praise to the Paramatma, the Antaryami feature. And then there we have heard about how Brahma is saying, I have no way but to surrender to you. That's the chief being in this universe, the secondary creator. He's saying that. And he's saying that if I, personification of this full goodness, and the demigods is saying that I have to take shelter of you, what to speak of other living entities. So Sharana Agati is the way to go according to the Brahma, who is the secondary creator of the world. And he said he will do that with determination. There we heard about Utsaha Nishchaya Dhairya of Sugo Swami. Enthusiasm is life. It's like spice, determination. And then patience means still being enthusiastic even though when results are not given yet. Okay, that we have heard. And prayers done. And then Virat Rupa. How everything in this world that we see and we perceive within can remind us of Krishna, that can make us Krishna conscious, that we have heard. This is an easy way of Krishna consciousness because we are seeing and perceiving. And more subtler form is to be absorbed in the Nama, the subtler aspect of the Lord. Okay. After the prayers, then the Lord appeared. And the Lord's instruction, right? There, the main thing we have spent time on discussion is aparavichar and paravichar. This is very important to understand because this we hear in different places in Shastra in different ways. Bali Maharaj and then Pandavas going through the trouble, and Chitraketu and Bharata and the previous one also Indra, Gajendra, all this. Aparavichar, paravichar. We are in the zone of aparavichar. That's why we feel like, what? But Sharanagata Bhaktas, they're in the zone of paravichar. For them, this is wonderful. So they don't think like us who are in aparavichar. Though it is actually happening to them, to Pandavas it is happening, but they did not think like that. We tend to think like that, who are in the apara zone. But in the para zone devotees, they don't think like that. So the Lord operates on that scale of paravichar. That we have heard, and that we have heard in the context of the snake and mouse logic. And after that, he gave the instructions to the demigods that we have just discussed. Right? Be peaceful, patient, no fear, don't be greedy, don't be angry. Yeah, those things we have heard. And Halahalam came out. Everybody went to Lord Shiva, and we have heard from Lord Shiva what the mood of those sadhavas are. They are very much attuned to naturally tuned to relieve the suffering of others. And Lord Shiva is saying, this is the highest form of worship to the Lord in the heart, when we take away the distress of the living entities. And the topmost welfare activity for the living entities is giving them their real identity, that they are part and parcels of the Lord. That's how all the distress will go away. But during the course of the time, then we may have to be tuned to what they need and be sensitive to what they need in the process of giving them Krishna consciousness. But giving Krishna consciousness is the topmost welfare activity. That Lord Shiva. Yeah, after that, one thing after the other, everything came out from Surabhi to the nectar. Everything came out. And their demigods, they beautifully passed the test. They were peaceful and they did not protest in the beginning. And when the halahalam came out, and they remembered that they don't have to be in fear. And after that, they were not greedy. Yeah, and they were not angry. And finally, they took shelter of the Lord when the pot of nectar was snatched away by the demons from Dhanvantari. So that's how Mohini Murti Avatara will come to give that nectar to the demons. That will be in the next session. Oh, dear devotees. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I didn't think it was, I think we kind of took more time in 2-3 places, got embedded there. Somehow we were able to hold Katha today. Thank you for your patience.